So good morning. As you guys start coming in, go ahead and put in the chat where you're from, just so we have a great idea of who we're talking with and where you guys are located in the country. I'm Jamie Cash. I am a employee at Kaplan. I run the community forum. So Toby lets me do this every now and again and sub in for him so that people can actually see that I'm a real person and I'm not just like some bot on the back end of the community. And then today's guest is Jeni VanOrnum, and she's going to be talking to us about mastering business plans, strategic goals for seasoned real estate agents. So welcome, Jeni. Would you like to give a
Thank
little bit
you.
of your background?
Sure. I am Jeni VanOrnum, like Jamie said, and I am a licensed real estate broker in Colorado. I have been a broker for 26 years and then an employing broker for about 15 years. I love real estate because all of my big rocks get to go in first, meaning my family and my kids, and then everybody else gets to go in around that. And you can make a lot of money in the process of having a fantastic life. So I appreciate being invited to speak today.
Yes, we're so happy to have you here. Um, One of the first things we do, so thank you guys for saying where you're from. We've got people from everywhere. We've got Florida to Colorado to Pennsylvania to Texas, California, Virginia, more Texas, Minnesota, everybody. This is great. Jeni and I are both in Colorado, not too far from each other, to be
No.
quite honest. And we are so excited to have you guys all here. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat as well. Or you can use the Q&A for questions. Either way is fine with us. We'll get those answered as we go through the program. But one of the questions I wanted to start out asking was, I was going to put in a poll and just see how long everyone's been in the business. But my poll is missing for a minute. So I'll come back to that. But we were just curious as to how long everyone's been in the industry, whether you're just getting started or you've been in the industry for multiple years. My poll is missing. Here we go. Let me launch this poll. And if you guys could answer in the poll, that would be great. I'll leave this up for a few minutes while you guys answer, but we're super excited to have you guys with us. And this is just a poll, just so we have an idea who our audience is and who Jeni's speaking to today, just so we can kind of gauge some of the questions and some of the answers. I'll leave it up for a few more minutes as most people have participated in the poll. There's a few more coming in. Awesome.
It's great. We're all over today.
I know. Some people are answering in the chat as well. So I'm going to go ahead and close the poll here just so we can take a look at the results. 3, 2, 1. So right now it looks like 46% are currently taking classes at Kaplan. So welcome to our Kaplan students. And then about 20% are 10 plus years, which is amazing. I'm glad you guys tuned in. I'd love to know the 20 plus years, how you've heard about the webinar. If you want to put that in the chat, that would be great information to know. Just want to make sure we're always reaching out to our past students. And then we also have less than 3 years and people still looking to get their license. So this is great. Wonderful. Thank you guys for participating in the poll. So we're going to go ahead and get started. As I mentioned, I'm Jamie Cash. I'm subbing in for Toby Shifsky. He's usually the host of these, but he is traveling today. So I'm hosting and going to be talking to Jeni about mastering strategic goals for seasoned agents. Jeni, what do you recommend most people start out doing, whether they're a seasoned agent or a new agent, when it comes to business planning?
Well, the first thing I recommend is actually have a business plan, which is shouldn't have to say that, but that is true. You are going to be running a business. And the first thing I do on my business plan is I sit down and I think, if I could only work with one type of client, if someone said, Jeni, you only can work with one type of client for the rest of your career, what does that client look like? I want it to be perfect. So is it a first time home buyer? Is it a move up seller? Is it a move, is it someone like me that's maybe their kids are going off to college and I'm going to sell my bigger house and I'm going to downsize. So I think about who is my perfect ideal client. And then I kind of build my business plan around that. What do I need to make to continue to enjoy the life I've grown accustomed to? And then what would I like to make to move up to that next level of investing or purchasing real estate or whatever is in my business plan? And then also always thinking about what's my why? Why do I want to do this? One of my favorite quotes is, he who has a strong enough why can endure anyhow. So if I know why I'm doing it and I look at that consistently, and then I plan my business around my why, my perfect client, and what I need to make.
I love it. I love it. Um, and how did you decide who your perfect client is?
Like I said, I've been selling for 26 years, and I wish that somebody would have told me this when I first started, because I believe that what you think about, you bring about. So if you can be very clear and focused on what you want to do and who you want to help. We're in a service industry, not necessarily a sales industry. So who do I want to help? Who do I want to attract into my life? It's easier, in my opinion, to attract somebody that's like me. I like to hang out with people that are like me. So I am in that phase of life where I've got my larger home. Three of my children, two of them are gone. One is still here. He's about to graduate from high school. I'm looking at probably selling that larger home and going into a smaller home. One, because they keep coming back, those sweet children. So I'm thinking I want them to stay away. So I think, where can I find people that are like me? Well, obviously I know what I like to do. I like to know where I like to hang out, things like that. So it's easier for me than to probably go and be with my ideal client, which is somebody right now like me. Now, if I'm a brand new broker, I might think, maybe I want to work with that first time home buyer. I'm a mentor teacher at heart. So I love to think, well, maybe I just want to really be in that educational process of
Yeah.
helping that first time home buyer know the ins and outs of buying, the importance of investing in real estate versus renting. So that might be my ideal client. I'm just thinking about this is what you do. This is what you do every day and for many, many hours a day. So it needs to be with people that you actually like to hang out with.
Yeah. That's very important, because
Yes,
it's just like, if you could pick your perfect, coworkers, it's kind of the same thing, right? Where do
exactly.
you, where do you want
Yeah,
to hang
they're
out?
like your coworkers.
Yeah. Yeah. Where do you want to hang out? What do you want to do with them? Do you have the similar interests?
Yeah,
And it can be anything. It could be, your religion. It could be your, extracurricular activities, whether you like hiking or biking or running or whatever.
absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
it's your people, definitely. That, I think it helps to find your niche, and then know what your tribe is, and then be able to expand upon that as to like who your target market's going to be.
Right.
Definitely.
Because every moment of the day we are marketing or prospecting, doing things that we love to do. So
So
that's a perfect example, Jamie.
yeah, and keeping it in something that you love doing makes it that much easier, and it also gives you that piece of connection to, and I know you're going to probably talk about this later, but to have a reason to call them like, hey,
Yes,
I found this race, do you want to come run it with me, blah blah blah, and keep in touch, and that's just another point of contact for them.
absolutely. Yep.
um, I'm going to put up a poll really quick about business plans, and I was just curious who has a business plan. And if you have one and you use it, please select yes. If you don't have one, that's totally fine. or if you have one but you don't use it, let us know. So please answer the poll. We'll give a few minutes for that to go through. I think it's funny that a lot of people will have a business plan, but then kind of like forget the plan and not go back to it. So what are some components of a successful business plan, would you say?
The biggest, well, there's lots of important ones. I, again, go back to why am I doing this business? What was so important to me that I took the time to get my license? I spend the money every, year, month to continue to have my license. And I'm an entrepreneur, so I don't have the benefits of getting a, paycheck every 2 weeks. So knowing what my why is, then knowing who your ideal client is and how you're going to market to them, and then what you're actually going to do for marketing. And the most important, and the one that people don't want to do, which goes right with marketing, is prospecting. I've got to contact my clients. National Association of Realtors says that you need to be in contact with your database, your sphere of influence, at least 40 times a year. Now that's not picking up the phone every, 40 times. They're going to not want to talk to you anymore after that. But it's, sending them a piece of mail, sending them a newsletter via email, calling them, personal notes, real estate reviews, maybe use different systems to contact them via email, HomeBot, all of those different things where you are top of mind to them. And it's planning all of that out, whether you do it for the whole entire year or, I kind of do my master plan for the whole year, and then I do it quarterly on what I'm going to do that quarter. Client events, pop buys, maybe I'm going to send little gifts to people, birthdays, home anniversaries. I plan all of that out so that I have a very clear, precise business plan. And then I should have also a very good idea of what I'm going to make that quarter or year.
So within your business plan, you're going to have your mission, your goals, your marketing plan, your income plan, your finances, all of that's tied within your business plan.
And in that finance plan, I forgot my very unfavorite word is called budget. I do have a budget. Whether I stick to it or not is a different thing, but that just goes right out of what I'm making. So I should stick to that budget. But having an idea of this is what I'm going to spend. My business coach always tells me to get my head out of the glitter. I'm easily distracted by things that are like, "Ooh, I should do that. That would be fun. I should go, try to get clients this way." And it's like, no, I really have to stick to my plan. And if that business plan is in front of me at all times, it makes it a lot easier to be like, that's not a part of my plan. So I can't do that right now. It also makes it easier to tell people, no, I can't do that right now. It's not a part of my budget.
Yeah. Looking at the results really quickly to that question, only 5% have one and use it. About 26 have one but don't use it, and the other 68% do not have one. So thank you guys for sharing that. That's great information for us to just have an idea of, who we're speaking to and what you guys might have questions about. One product that we do have at Kaplan is the Real Estate Accelerator Program. And that's just a place that you can go and get your business accelerated. You can go in there and you will be forced to make a business plan. It actually teaches you like everything you need to know about getting a business started. And I think that's something Jeni and I both have talked previously about, is just how important it is to treat your real estate business as a business, because that's the only way you're going to be successful. Yep. And then how do you leverage? So we talked about business planning. Someone actually had a question in here I was going to get to. It says, do you have a category of client types?
I'm assuming that you're meaning like have I segmented my clients out as in my database? Like lots of programs will be like my A clients, my B clients, my C clients. And my answer would be yes. I don't have them segmented out necessarily as A, B, C, or D. I have been a little bit quicker to delete people because I've kind of gotten to that phase in my life where it's like, if I see you in the grocery store and I don't want to talk to you, then I don't know why I would market to you. And I mean, that sounds silly to say it like that, but there's people that have been on my database that I'm like, I don't actually like you. So why would I want to spend time with you? Life is very short. So I've done a lot of deleting, which feels very, very good. You might not be in that phase in your career where you feel like you can do that, and that's fine. You'll get there. But that might not be where you're at right now. But then I do have some categories where I've got raving fans. Those raving fans of mine, like if they hear somebody talking about real estate, they will walk across the room and be like, you have to call Jeni. They get a lot of attention from me, a lot more than somebody that by nature is just not a referrer. They like me, but they're not going to go out of their way to refer me. They don't think
Yeah.
about referring me. Like they'll have a conversation with me and be like, oh, yeah, my brother bought a house. And it doesn't even occur to them that they should have referred me. So they're going to still get attention from me, but not as much as those raving fans. So that's kind of how I've segmented it.
Yeah, I
And
love
then
that.
I've done, I like the ninja selling system. So I do a lot of the hot list and the warm list. Hot list are people that know that they want to buy and sell within the next, 30 to 90 days. A warm list are people that I think may want to buy or sell in the next, 6 months to 12 months because of me basically stalking them, which sounds weird, but I'm just talking to them. I'm listening for pleasure and pain. I'm watching them on social media. I'm seeing, oh, he got a promotion. Oh, they just had another baby. Like I'm watching them and they'll go onto my warm list where I'm probably paying a little bit more attention to them. So
That's
I
great.
segment that way too.
Well, and having those clients that are those referrals are huge because word of mouth is such a great number one way to market,
Yes.
right? Having other people
Yes.
talk about you, that like that saves you money and having to market yourself when they're doing it for you.
Absolutely.
So that makes sense, giving them more attention. You spoke a little bit about warm and hot. Do you use any sort of technology to keep your database organized? What technology, I guess I should say, do you use to help you with your business plan, help you with your business in general?
I for sure use a CRM, and I love, Top Producer is a fantastic CRM. I would look for a CRM that has the capability for you to have your clients in there. If you want to segment it, be able to segment it. Um, Addresses like physical mailing addresses, emails, phone numbers, birthdays, home anniversaries, and then a place for notes. So when I do call people, I always call them in front of my CRM so that I can write down notes. Your mind is for processing, not storage. So there's no way that you're going to remember what people told you unless you sit there and write it down and then put it in to your calendar that you need to re-follow up with them. When I am calling people, I am using the Ford system. So family, occupation, recreation, dreams. I'm being more interested in what they're saying than talking about myself. And I'm just constantly writing notes, looking for ways that I can either reach back out to them and or send them something, or just keeping them top of mind as well. With regards to technology that I use to help with my business plan, I am a huge raving fan of ChatGPT. I use the OpenAI ChatGPT. In fact, I love her so much that I have given her a name, and she is my $20 a month billion-dollar assistant. And I've trained her to speak in my tone, so you can do that. And so she'll like help me. I'll be like, okay, I want to do a marketing plan based on again my ideal client, and I'll put that all in there and I talk to her. You can actually talk to her, not even type. So I'll physically talk to her and tell her, and I just talk, 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 talk. And then she'll write out stuff for me. And then I'll be like, that's fantastic. But what about blah, blah, blah? I'm always checking her because she's getting better, but sometimes she forgets that we have fair housing rules. And she'll say
Can't say
things where I'm
that.
like, whoopsie. So I'm like, not that, Daddy. And so, but that like I embrace all of the tools that a lot of people are saying is scary. It's not scary. That nobody's going to replace me. Technology is just going to improve my skills so that I can be more present when I'm with my buyers and sellers.
Right. And sometimes writing isn't always everyone's best forte.
Yeah.
Like they might be amazing at selling, but writing is a different thing. And so
Yes.
why not use the tools to help you be
Right.
better and more well-rounded?
And the new
So
systems have more capability even to do market stats, or, you know, they'll
yeah,
link up different websites that you can go in and do even more research. Because I'm a big stats person. I like stats. And so I can go in there and just kind of see what's going on in the marketplace. So I want to be the person that they ask the questions to.
yeah, yeah. I know Top Producer, you mentioned that as your CRM. They do have AI capabilities
They
within
do.
that CRM. So
Yeah.
just more fun tools for you
Yeah.
guys. There was a question as to, can you please share which version of Chat GPT you use?
I am on the highest version right now. I think it's the 4 point, like it's the small zero.
Okay.
And it has it's supposedly they're having a new one that's coming out. I use her a lot, but I probably don't even use her full capability. I mean, the other day, my coach was telling me that I could do coloring pages specific, like I could put in there, you know, make a coloring page of blah 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 blah, and for clients that are, you know, I'm bringing kids with them or whatever when I'm showing houses, and I was like, mind, but like every day I'm just like, what the heck is
Oh,
happening? It's like, I love this.
yeah. More and more things are starting to appear on Chat GPT that you can do that you couldn't do like yesterday.
It's
So
amazing.
yeah,
It's
I would
amazing.
agree.
That's why there'll never be a class that's caught up with what ChatGPT can
Yeah,
actually do. It's impossible.
we've tried to write a class, but it just changes so fast that by the time the class is written, it's out of date. So
It's
yeah,
crazy.
that's why we have to do webinars on it.
Yeah.
And then another class was asking, or another class, another student was asking, do you recommend to do the real estate accelerator course prior to getting your license?
I recommend, I would say yes. And I would say if you already have your license and you're looking for a jump start to do it. Ideally, if somebody would have said to me, Jeni, we have a real estate accelerator class that you should do, and bonus, you should do a business plan. As much as I love doing this, I would be retired. I would be done, because if I would have started treating this business like a business from the day I got my license, with somebody to say, here's how you do a business plan. Here's how you figure out your ideal client. Here's how you market to your clients. Here's what you should say when you're prospecting. It doesn't have to be, hey, I want you to buy or sell. It's building a relationship with people, asking them questions. If someone would have done that, like we have set up for the real estate accelerator, like I said, I'd either be, maybe I'd be living on an island and I'd just be dabbling in real estate. But
The island that you
so
bought and own.
yes, my answer to that was yes, yes, yes.
Good. Yeah, we recommend, if you're in your licensing courses, it's part of your package. Sometimes you can buy it right away. We recommend you guys starting like maybe midway through. Once you kind of get through the national piece of it, then starting the real estate accelerator course with it. Otherwise, when you're finished, with the courses, or if you are just stuck and you need a business plan and you're treading water just to stay afloat, then let's, get you in that class so that you can get your business up and running.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I love it. I love all the different Chat GPT and the Top Producer. Those tips I think are super helpful, and it makes your life that much easier because
Mhm.
the busier you get, the more you have on your plate.
Yeah.
And Jenna put in the chat the link if you wanted to sign up for that real estate accelerator course. So how do you use those business or that data analytics to make business planning decisions?
So I'll look at, I mean, I probably don't use my CRM to its full capability. I'll just be honest with that. I'm sure it does a lot more than I do. But I will look at my own personal analytics, sometimes I'll be like, well, why am I not, I'm feeling very busy because I was prospecting and now I have buyers and sellers, but now it's like my pipeline is kind of getting a little bit low. So I'll go back to some of my calendars. I color code my calendar, and I know that's weird, freaky thing to do, but it's a good thing to do. And you're like, I'm actually feel really busy, but I'm not productive. I'm not making any money. I'm very good at spending a lot of time with Dottie, my ChatGPT assistant, but maybe I haven't picked up the phone to actually ask people what they're doing this summer. So I like those analytics to go in and kind of track my time. Where am I spending my time? And then you should, about 20% of your database should be on your warm list, thinking that they're going to, actually move in the next year. So if I look at that and I'm constantly kind of keeping track of who might be or who should I put on that warm list, that's also a great way to kind of check your own analytics. And then I love to go in and look at fhfa.gov, which is a government site that actually tracks appreciation in all of the different states. And they do it on a quarterly basis, and then they do it for a year, so that how is a state overall appreciating in their market values, and then how are they appreciating quarterly, and then how are the actual cities in some of those states, the larger cities in some of those states, what's going on with them. And then also just using my MLS to know what different market areas are doing.
Yeah, that brings into a question one of the students had is, how do you plan your time? What are your routines and tasks?
Well, I do not actually like to make phone calls. I'm getting so much better because I shifted my mindset to that I'm not picking up the phone saying, hey, do you want to buy or sell? Do you want to buy or sell? I'm calling them to say, hey, I'm looking for an electrician. Do you have any electricians? I look at my database and I think, what do they, I gave Jeni an example a while ago about my client, Melanie. She's a big dog lover. So I called her and I said, I'm looking for a pet groomer, a pet boarder, a pet walker, a pooper scooper, whatever I need. Who do you have? And she's like, oh, you've got to call blah, 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 blah. And she gave me all these. And then it's very easy then to be like, thank you so much. Just like you were so quick to refer all of those pet people, I hope that I'm the person that you think about when someone's looking to buy or sell a home. Oh, absolutely, Jeni, you're wonderful. Thank you. That is an easy phone call to make all day long. So when I shifted my mindset to that's what I'm doing versus do you want to buy or sell? Do you want to buy or sell? I typically do those calls in the morning when I'm in front of my computer because I'm making notes. And then the afternoon I leave for actually going and looking at houses, setting up client appointments, doing coffees or lunches, because we do work a lot in the evenings on the weekends. So I try to do my prospecting in the morning when I'm at home.
Great. No, I love that. I love how simple you make it sound to just be able to pick up the phone and be like, okay. And it's not a hard sell, right? You don't have to be selling something. You can just be talking to them about something of their interest and then mention
because
real estate.
Most of the time I don't even have to mention real estate. They will mention it because they know what I do. So it's not a secret. I sell real estate. So they'll normally in the conversation, because it's just a conversation between really friends. And they'll say, how's the market? What's going on with you? And then you can, you should have the stats to be able to speak it, which goes back to what's going on in the market.
Which is one of the questions. What was the website?
It's fhfa.gov.
FHFA.gov.
And you have to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the site, and it's a government site, so please keep that in mind when you're on there. Not user friendly, and it's called the house price index. The house price index.
I'll type that in. There you go. That's all in the chat for you guys. That's wonderful. No, this is all super good information. And stuff that you can use, whether you're a seasoned agent, a new agent just starting out, things to write down for when you have your license. These are all great tips. So I appreciate you sharing that, Jeni.
Absolutely.
How often do you adjust and assess your plans?
So I actually carry my business plan with me. all the time. I look at it monthly, so I schedule a couple hours a month to look at my business plan and make sure that I'm doing what I said I was going to do. Um, every quarter, I redo, like I readjust for the quarter. So I've done the whole year, kind of a big plan, but I really like to work on quarters. So I look at it every month. I always have it with me to remember why I'm doing this. And then I will readjust it every quarter if I need to, based on what my goals were.
And
Or
how do
are.
you carry your business plan with you? Do you have a PDF of it that you
I
printed
have,
out?
yeah. So I have a PDF. I used to do paper and I do still love paper, but I'm working to be green and I use a Remarkable. So I put my business plan on a PDF, which I can put onto this Remarkable, and then I can have it always with me. And this is where I keep all my notes for clients. It's my, if I lost this, I don't even know what would happen to me. I think I might implode, but everything is on here, and then I can make notes on to my actual onto my actual Remarkable, where I can be like, okay, I didn't make the calls I said I needed to make, and because I didn't do that, I can see that I'm not tracking to have the results that I needed to actually have to
That's
continue
amazing.
to live the life I've grown accustomed to.
I love it. And for those of you that don't know what Remarkable was, I didn't know before Jenny told me. It's an electronic notebook, so you can have everything in there and just write the notes in there. Which I'm like, okay, I will be googling that when we're done.
One of my
Um,
really good friends had one, and I waited for a long time. I kept looking at hers and I made her show it to me, and then finally she's like, just get it already. So I did, and now so it was a game changer.
nice. I love it. I love it. There's a question in, oh, Teresa loves the Remarkable too. She uses that. There's a question in here from Life Williams. What are some beginner goals that lead further into the industry? What were your first setbacks you experienced?
Um, some beginner goals is, I would really look at, a lot of people think that they're going to get into the business and it's going to be easy, and it's not. Uh, there's easy transactions, but it's still a business, it's still a job, it's a career. So I would say adjust your goals to be realistic. There's this is what I need to make versus this is what I'd like to make. Maybe you are going to transition from a full-time job into real estate full-time. Well, what do you need to make? And then work your numbers backwards. So if you need to make $100,000 for the year, well, what is the average sales price in your area? How many calls does that mean that you need to make? How many appointments from those calls do you need to have? Like, work them backwards. And again, the real estate accelerator, we have all of this done, that it's a plug and play. So I don't know why you wouldn't do it if you are brand new, but work those number backwards and try not to get so wrapped up in the outcome.
Right.
Um, that's easier said than done, and it's still easier said than done for me, but sometimes transactions don't go all the way to closing. And so just be a part of the process and know that if it doesn't close, it's something is going on. Everything works out for a reason. So it's just being not tied to the outcome, but just being tied to that service.
Yeah. And I think that's something that really differentiates you, Jenny, is that you have a service mindset and it's not
Yes,
about the close and the paycheck. I mean, granted, that's the ultimate goal, right? At the end of the day,
it's
everybody
important. Yep.
needs, yeah, everybody needs money to live. But I think when you can change that mindset into how can I better service my client and what are their goals and what are their needs and what do they need to accomplish, I think that it makes the experience for that client so much better. And then they're a
Yes,
client for life and you don't have to prospect so much more because you really took the time out of your day to spend that time with that client and listen to their wants and needs. And then they
yes,
are a word of mouth referral for you. So then there's less marketing that you have to do. And then there's less, prospecting you have to do because they're always in your database and they're marketing
exactly,
for you. I love it.
exactly.
How did Kim had asked, how did you get your market how did you market to get your clientele started?
That is a great question. I sat down, and I would do this if you are in real estate classes right now. Take some time and write down every single person that you know. And if you are like, I don't know that many people, I'll say that is not actually true. Then go onto social media and see all of your friends that you have on social media, and just start writing that down. Put it in an Excel spreadsheet, because no matter what CRM you decide to use, an Excel spreadsheet is going to be able to import that information there. And then think about, per my budget, how can I reach out to the people that know me, like me, trust me? And do I have enough of those people in my database based on the numbers that I'm using in order to make the money that I need to continue to live? And if not, then I need to find another bucket of business. So is that doing open houses? Is that cold calling? Is that door knocking? That's why it's so important to know, what do I need to make? And then, do I have enough people I know? And if not, how do I add more people?
Right,
And maybe it doesn't even need to be open houses. Maybe it's, you're going to join a meetup group for looking
right,
for that ideal client. Maybe you're going to do, like, there's lots of things you can do that aren't door knocking, in my opinion. So think that way. And then think in your budget, what can I do to market to them? What's
right,
in my budget?
right. I love it. And I think too, it's important to be able to pull from those different activities, like we talked about earlier, to find more clientele. Like,
Yep.
oh, maybe I was just looking at my immediate friends and family. I need to disperse this out to, the people I, practice religion with, or people that
Yep.
I bike with, or people that I might work
Yep.
out with, or whatever the case may be. I think, people of the similar mindset, it's a great place to start adding
Yep.
to your network.
And don't be
Um,
offended if someone says, I already have somebody. Okay, that's fine. Could I be your second person? That's fine. There's
yeah.
enough, there is enough business for every single one of us. That's what I know for sure.
A couple questions from Henry. One was, how soon did you gain a mentor? And would you say you spend more time prospecting versus anything else?
So my mom was actually in real estate when I got my license. And if any of you have heard my story before, you know that I said I would never sell real estate when I was in high school, because I watched my mom. We had money, we had no money. We had money, we had no money. I'm like, that is absolutely no way to live. So my mom was my mentor, and I love her. She's fantastic. But very quickly I realized, um, I need somebody that's going to be more like me. I'm very organized, and I like to have a plan. I actually need a plan. And my mom's a little bit more, whatever happens, happens. So yes, I went and found someone else to be my mentor right away. And I would tell my mom this if she asked, but she hasn't asked. So
We can send her the recording. It's okay.
yeah. And then I can't even remember the second part of that question. It was a good one.
Do you spend
Oh
more
yeah.
time prospecting?
Yes. And here, this is always a constant struggle with me. I will prospect, and when I prospect, I've got business. And then I'm suddenly busy, and the first thing I do is I stop prospecting because I'm busy. And then I wonder, like, well, why don't I have more business? So yes, prospecting has to be what you do every single day, at least 5 days a week. And again, shift your mindset to not like, I'm just calling people like, do you want to buy or sell? Do you want to buy or sell? This
Not a
call
good
session,
script.
no, this call session for me has been, what are you doing this summer? Like, what's going on? Tell me some fun things you're doing. Do you want the list of my favorite things to do this summer? That, so all my stuff kind of goes from my phone calls into my social media, into my marketing pieces. I think a great way to call your clients is to ask them, hey, I'm brand new into real estate, and I'm starting a referral list of contractors, handymen, carpet cleaners, pet sitters, window people, carpet people replace, basement finishers, like whatever you want to do. I want to be the person that my clients call to say, hey, I need a plumber. I should call Jeni. So that's a great way to call your clients.
Yes, I learned that lesson the hard way. was looking for someone to do my daughter's senior pictures, and I posted it online, and all I should have done was call Jeni, because she texted me right away and was like, here's someone. I'm like, of course you have someone. Why don't I know this by now? Like, all my realtor friends know somebody that knows somebody. So they're like the person you should be Googling instead of Googling like, who's a
Yeah.
good handyman? Just call Jeni.
Yeah.
Do you have a set schedule for every day?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. And I also have a day off. So take a day off. And it might not be the full day. It might be like I make calls in the morning and then I'm off the afternoon. And like the next day I'm off in the morning and I'm doing something in the afternoon. But please put yourself as an appointment or you will burn out.
Yes, that is very, very wise
Work
guidance
hard, play
there.
hard. Yep.
Yes. How do you keep your income going so you don't run out of money? There's another great question from Alexandra.
Oh, that is a great question. It kind of goes back to that bad word budget. I I really focus on and this is, I'll be honest, this is a very new concept for me because I've been a big tracker on my costs, and I'm like, oh my God, too much money going out, money coming in, but I want to make more. I want to retire. I don't want to do this forever. So I've been really conscientious of what I've been spending and do I get the return for that? And then sometimes you have to go do things you don't want to do, like maybe, do an open house or maybe go do some door knocking or, like you have to have a strong enough why to be like, okay, I don't want to run out of money. I don't want to go get, a real job. This is what I want to do. This is a real job and I'm going to be successful at it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think having a mentor and having that accountability is
Yep.
huge when it comes to that, because they're going to force you to do the things you don't want to do. Just like, you can get into shape by yourself, but you're probably not going to do it as well as if you had an accountability coach that's like
Correct.
telling
And
you what.
I have a coach.
Yeah.
So, and he does not let me make any excuses, which
Good.
is unfortunate.
But that's what we all need, right?
Yeah.
Where did you find your mentor or your career coach?
So a lot of times you'll find them in your office. I think also going into the Kaplan community and asking, being a part of that Kaplan community, there's many different facets of that. And you could say, hey, I'm looking for a mentor or a coach. Most of the time in your office, they'll be able to find that. So when you're interviewing offices, I think that's a great question to ask. And sometimes it can just also be camaraderie and the way to encourage each other. Maybe it's more of an accountability partner and not even a mentor or a coach, and your employing broker is the one that's going to kind of train you. But you need somebody that says, hey, let's meet every day in the office and make an hour of calls. Let's just bust it out. Let's do it.
Yeah, no, that's great. Jeni mentioned the community forum. I put up here on the slide the link to the community forum. It's a free place for you guys to go, whether you're a student or not. There's the student community, obviously, is just for students. They only have access to that side of it. But everyone has access to the career mentor side of the community. And that's a public side of the community where you can go in and find mentors. You can go in and ask questions that maybe you don't have a mentor, but you need one, or how do I do this? Or what's this class? What's the best class I should take for XYZ? So if there's ever anything that you have questions about, that's a great place for you guys to go and ask. There's tons of realtors, agents, teachers, instructors, etc., all in that community that are always in there answering questions. And Jenna put the link to the community in the chat as well. So this is great. Juan says, you said you have to do what you love. Now you have to do what you have to do, meaning that you're doing something that you probably don't like. Am I right?
Oh, Juan. I was reading that when you were talking about the community forum. Yes, most of the time I'm doing what I love, but there are times where I am doing something that I would much rather be, sitting on the beach having a rum runner. So I never want anyone to think that every morning I wake up and I'm like, woo, I'm calling my clients. I love this so much. I
Yes, you
start calling.
are.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I start calling, and as soon as I start calling the right client, I am suddenly doing what I love.
Yeah.
And if, if it's like, oh, this conversation's getting a little long, I normally say, hey, this isn't I would love to catch up. So let's get schedule a happy hour or lunch or something. This is just a quick check-in. So especially on the clients where I'm like, yeesh, this is not necessarily something I love. So that is what I'm talking a little bit about that. Also, I don't always love looking at 50 houses. You'll get to the point where you're like, if I never actually had to look at another house again, I would be perfectly fine. So I don't love to look at houses, but I love when my client finds the perfect house
Right.
and their excitement level is amazing. So then
Mhm.
it's like, well, I actually was doing something I love, because that is a huge, benefit of going out on a Saturday and looking at, 7 houses.
Yeah. Especially
If
once
I
you're
am.
in the industry for so long, you start to see the same model of house and you're like,
Yeah.
we already saw this. It was just flip-flop, but now you like it because it's flip-flopped. Okay, well, whatever. So there is a bit of that. And yes, I can definitely see the excitement at the beginning, but I can see how that would eventually get old as
It
you just
does.
kept
Yeah.
seeing the same houses over and over.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great. We can continue the conversation in the forum. So if you guys have any questions that didn't get answered today, please go ahead and ask them in the forum. And if you're interested in the Real Estate Accelerator program, I would love for you guys to sign up for that. That has its own community as well. So there's just everyone has a Real Estate Accelerator program attached to their program or have purchased it separately. They have their own community where they can ask questions about the business planning and that sort of thing. So we're super excited that Jeni was here with us today. Hopefully you guys got some little aha moments, some little tidbits. If you wouldn't mind posting those in the community and just sharing what you learned with us today, that would be great. Rebecca asked if the Real Estate Accelerator course, I'm guessing, is it online or are there different dates for it? It is an online course, but there's also a live training portion of that course as well. And the dates are inside the course once you purchase it. So again, thank you, Jeni. Thank you all for joining us today. I appreciate all 100 of you that are here with us and those that are going to watch the recording. And if you have any questions for us, like I said, reach out in the community and we hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.